Hello, lovers. This is Jen Violi, and I'm coming to you today with an intention and with two goals. And I think, as always, it's best to start with the intention as a foundation. And the intention is the one that I have all of the time, which is to create a sacred and playful sanctuary for you and for your story. And as far as the goals go, well, goal number one is to write with you, to have a little mini writing retreat that I can offer to you for in the middle of your day. And the second goal is to tell you about a new offering. I have a new program that's called Rebirth the Heroine, which makes me excited to even say. It's something that I'm super proud of and thrilled to share with you, and that it's ready to share with you. And it really comes from my heart to your heart. And to backtrack a little, maybe a month or two ago, I posted on Facebook one of the fill in the blank posts that I sometimes do. And this one was, the story I tell about myself is blank, and the story I want to tell about myself is blank. And I'll tell you what, I think there was maybe only one person whose blanks were the same, who filled in the same things, which I think is great. And as for the rest of us, there were definitely differences between the stories we wanted to tell about ourselves and the stories we actually tell about ourselves. So if you know that the story that you've been telling about yourself doesn't honor the fullness of who you are, if you really would like to know how to get from blank one to blank two and aren't really sure at all how to do it, and most of all, if you're a woman who wants, yearns, longs to burn in instead of burn out, who wants your voice to burn clear and true and be light and fire in a world that desperately needs it, that's hungry for it, then this offering, Rebirth the Heroine, is for you. Very simply, it is a 12-week self-directed word quest. And each week during the quest, you'll get writing prompts and guidance for reflection in your inbox from me, and it will be your chance to rewrite the crap out of the story you've been telling about yourself. And I mean that in both ways. One is to rewrite the crap out of it, you know, the stuff that isn't serving, that doesn't belong there, that you don't want there. And another thing is to rewrite the crap out of it, as in to do it with passion and gusto and depth and love. The ultimate goal is for you to be inflamed. And I mean that as an in with a hyphen and then flamed, as opposed to inflamed like you ate too much sugar, which I totally did this weekend. This is about cultivating something within you, a fire within you, rather than reacting against everything that's around you, which is something that I think is a challenge for so many of us in this world, in this culture, in the country where I live, the United States for sure, and perhaps other places too. It's a program that's about reinvention, and reinvention is something that is very familiar to me. It's kind of the story of my life and happens again and again. And, you know, maybe the most recent of which was moving to Portland, coming here from across the country in a whole different place, and losing a job and losing a marriage and sort of letting go of this old version of me to embrace this new version of me. And I guess I want to clarify that reinvention, I don't mean that I needed a new identity, or that when I talk about reinvention in this program, that you need a new identity. I actually think it's more about recovering the essential self that's already there. So every time I've reinvented myself, it's about becoming more of who I am rather than becoming someone new, if that makes sense. And as far as timing goes, there are lots of things that can call for a reinvention. One of them, of course, would be a heartbreaking loss that leaves you leveled or on your knees or on the ground looking up. Sometimes it's less heartbreaking and more of a simple or complicated transition. In work, in home, maybe you're moving, and sometimes it's something that really can't be named, like this bone deep restlessness that you might have, knowing that there's something else and there's a different way to be articulating your life, using your voice, all of that. So any of those reasons might be what draw you into this process. But all of them are about remembering your core self. And this isn't a crazy complex program. This is something that's inspired by, actually, it's a quote from Mr. Rogers that I love so much, which is that deep and simple are far more essential than shallow and complex. Oh, I love it. And I think there are so many processes and programs and things that are out there that feel empty, but are really complicated and require lots of detail and minutia that don't really serve. And what I wanted to do with this program, my intention in creating it, and what I hope is there, is something that is rather simple. Each week there will be simple questions, simple reflections that will lead you to a deep place. And the course is simply divided into 3 months. And so the first month is mapping. And that's really about looking back, journeying back into the misty memory to see your early self and what delighted your early self, and what maybe was the opposite of delight for your early self, but defined you. And the second month is called Cave Magic, which I love, especially the first week of it, which is called Everybody Out, as in like kicking everybody out of your cave so you can finally have some space to listen to yourself, to be with yourself. And then so that month is really about your present day self and bringing that wisdom and light of you now to bear on what you've excavated from the past. And then all of that leads into the third month, which is called Voice Fire. And this is really about lighting your voice on fire. There's some purification that's part of it, but all of it is to end in this blaze, this celebratory blaze of your voice. And yeah, so it's about a process of reflection and going within, and a practice as well. And that involves writing, because, I'm a writer. That's what I do. I work with words. And so what you'll be doing is using words and engaging with words. And you're going to get the reflective component, because that soulful piece is part of whatever I do, whether or not I would want it to be part of it. It just is there. And I do want it to be part of it. And also you'll get some really practical tools in terms of how to use writing and how to identify and best make use of and fire of your own unique style, so it really sounds like you. And in terms of results, this can vary. So it might be that you need a new bio for work, and that's what you're going to be creating as part of this. So something simple that you can use for your work or speaking. And it also might be that you are a writer and seeking to tell the story of yourself and not sure how to get started. So maybe this ends up being the introduction or first chapter to a memoir. Or perhaps it's something that you're just doing for yourself, rewriting the story of you for you. So that maybe it's something you keep on your altar or read to yourself to remind yourself of who you are. And all of those options and opportunities are available to you as you do this. And maybe it'll be all three, who knows? And far be it from me to predict what a heroine's quest will include, because I know that I'm constantly surprised by my own quests. So what I want to do, just for a couple minutes now to wrap up, is what I often tell the writers that I work with to do, which is show rather than tell. So to show you a moment of this program, what it might be like to do this. And what it might be like is that you get an email from me in your inbox and you open it up and you read about the theme for the week. And perhaps it's about remembering yourself, your early self. And much like the introduction, the early part of this video where I explain some things to you, you take that in and see what it stirs up inside of you. And then you write and you reflect. And you might want to, as I like to do, is to light a little candle and make the process sacred. I'm going to light a candle with you here. And here's my flame. And here's a candle. You certainly don't have to light a candle, but for me, that's one of those great reminders of this moment is a holy wow. This moment is sacred, and I'm entering into it with my intention, and you're entering into it with your intention. So even right now in this moment, you might just take a deep breath in and out and put your feet on the ground and close your eyes if you wish. And take another deep breath in and out, bringing yourself to the grounding of you in this moment. And then picking up a pen and doing a little writing. And so for the mini writing retreat component of this, I have a prompt for us, which is, in this moment, I remember myself. In this moment, I remember myself. And for now, we're just going to write together, and I'll time it. And there are different ways that you can do this, should you accept the Rebirth the Heroine quest. But for now, we'll just do a short timed free write, just about a minute, to see what comes from this prompt. And I'll be writing with you right here. So, you can watch me while I write, or my preference would be that you write while I write. We write together. And then I'll share with you what I wrote and make space on this post and Facebook so you could share what you wrote. So in this moment, I remember myself is the prompt. And all you have to do during this minute is just keep coming back to that prompt and let the words flow out of you. There's no way to do this wrong. I encourage you to not worry about grammar or structure or is this stupid, to just let it flow. So here we go, a minute of remembering ourselves. In this moment, I remember myself. Okay, so that might have been a little bit longer than a minute, but I got excited and into it, and maybe you did too. So wherever you are, wrap up whatever line or sentence you're on and put down your pen. And now is the time where, if we were all in my living room together, I would have us read these out loud to each other, should we choose to. But since I'm here, what I'm going to do right now is just read this to you. what I wrote, and then invite you to share what you wrote, perhaps in the comments below. For me, in this moment, I remember myself. She who was born of water with a glimmer of fire in her eye. She who knew wonder. I remember in pictures of me. Wait, can I remember pictures? Anyway, I see pictures of myself that remind me I was a child of wonder. What perhaps others might have called a space cadet, gazing off into nothing. But in this moment, I actually remember a big, beautiful something there. So that's my offering to you, along with this offering of Rebirth the Heroine. And so I'll put a link below in the comments too, so you can find it on my website. But really my website is just JenVioli, JenVioli.com. And if you go under the Ready to Write tab on the menu at the top, you'll find Rebirth the Heroine as the first selection you can choose. And you can read all about the program there and sign up right there. And I hope you do. I invite you, this is me, my heart, inviting you and your heart to this quest, if you feel called to do it, to rewrite your story and reclaim your power and revitalize your voice. Noble pursuits, all. And in this moment, I will sign off. And in so doing, I salute the heroine in you and would love to hear from you below with your writing or any questions or sayings of, yes, I'm doing this. The more of us who are questing together, the better. With so much love from me to you, signing off.